Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and this is currently my Southampton versus Manchester United preview. As I said, Manchester United travel to St Mary's this weekend, tomorrow, 5:30 kick-off, BT Sport 1, so it's live on BT, and this could be potentially Jose Mourinho's last game in charge of Manchester United, because we know he's under serious pressure. We know Southampton, Mark Hughes is currently under pressure there as well, because Southampton have only won one game this season out of 13 in the Premier League, as we all currently know. And potentially a bit of team news going into the game, some injury updates. Manchester United reportedly, Alexis Sanchez, who's obviously frustrated at the club, he's obviously told friends that he does want to leave the club because he's struggling to get first team action. He currently obviously was absent from the squad midweek against Young Boys as well. Was Alexis Sanchez, who reportedly it's confirmed on Thursday. He suffered a hamstring injury during training, so reportedly it's likely he's going to be out. We know that during training, so reportedly it's likely he's going to be out. We know that Manchester United have still got Victor Lindelof out through injury. I think he's out till late December time. Mourinho said he's hopeful that he's back by the Christmas period. It was a muscular problem that he suffered last week in the 0-0 draw with Crystal Palace, so I presume that it'll be Jones full this spot. Full Jones will be at that centre back partnership with Smalling. He will be full this spot. I can't see Mourinho putting Bailey there because obviously Bailey isn't hardly getting into the team this season. As I said, to Lindelof's out. I think Rojo's still injured for Man United as well. Rojo's still injured for Man United. I think Darmin's unlikely. So too is Doyle. I think he's still got a knock injury as well. I think Doyle's only played once this season for Man United. Pogba and Lukaku will be likely to start from the start against Southampton. Obviously, didn't start against Young Boys midweek. Obviously, came on substitutes with Pogba and Romelu Lukaku. A bit of Southampton injury news. Danny Ings, I don't know if he will be participating or not for Southampton, because Danny Ings has potentially suffered an injury. I think Sam Gallagher's out for Southampton. I think Shane Long's out for Southampton as well. So they have got a few injury updates Southampton, but potentially, we have got winnable games up until the Christmas period, and the last head-to-heads has been 14 meetings. In the last 14 meetings, Man United have won 8, Southampton have won 2, and there has been 4 draws between the sides. And Manchester United have not lost to Southampton. We haven't lost to Southampton in our last 5 games. The last time we lost to Southampton was under Louis van Gaal era, and it was by 1-0 at Old Trafford. And potentially, we've got a good record at St Mary's, as we all know. His last 7 games at St Mary's we haven't lost. In his last 7 visits to St Mary's, we've won 5 out of 7, and we have lost none in our last 7 visits to St Mary's as well. And we know potentially Man United are lacking goals. Defensively, we're awful as well. And Southampton are 18, so they are sitting in the bottom 3, as I said. But potentially his goals are not good enough this season. Defensively, not good enough this season. As I currently said, and his away form's not very good this season. We've only won 3 away from home all season so far. Potentially, we have qualified for the Champions League knockout stages. As I said, potentially we've only scored 1 goal at Old Trafford in the group stage. That is a bad Champions League record. And Mourinho basically explained there was some good parts of the performance. There was some disappointing parts. He said it was a difficult group. It was good to qualify. He said we missed out on a lot of crucial chances, which essentially, but people's back in Mourinho, as I said. But Scholes is unhappy. He said Man United were lucky to win midweek. He said we were lacking energy in every part of the pitch. He says, if we'd have played a decent team, we would have lost that game as well. And this is what Paul Scholes mentioned lack of fluidity as well in the squad. And so potentially we know the pressure is on Jose Mourinho. So there's a bit of match facts going into this game. Wait there, I'm going to read these match facts out. As I said, Southampton winless in 7 Premier League home matches against Man U since a 1-0 win in August 2003. Since Alex Ferguson retired, Man United have won 4 of their 10 Premier League against Southampton, having won 9 of their last 10 under the Scotsman. Manchester United have come from behind to beat Southampton on 8 different occasions in the Premier League. No side has done so against a specific opponent more in the competition. Also, Chelsea vs Sunderland, Man United vs Newcastle, Southampton are winless in their 6 Premier League home games this season. Their longest ever winless run from the start of a league season at home. Southampton picked up just one win from their last 17 Premier League home matches, beating Bournemouth 2-1 in April. Man United have lost 6 away Premier League matches in 2018. It's only one previous calendar year have they lost more in the competition. Southampton led in 5 Premier League games this season, but have won just one of them. They have lost more points from winning positions than any other Premier League side in 2018-19 since Jose Mourinho took charge of Man United. Only Southampton have drawn more Premier League games 0-0 than the Red Devils. Man United striker Romelu Lukaku scored 4 Premier League goals at St Mary's against Southampton. Only 2 players have ever scored more against Saints at St Mary's in the top flight. Olivier Giroud and Robin van Persie, both 5 goals. 4 of Man United's last 5 Premier League away goals have been scored by Martial. Only Harry Kane and Aubameyang have scored more away Premier League goals than this Frenchman this season. So there's a few match statistics to update you with going into the game as well. So we've got a good record at St Mary's. We haven't lost. Lost to them in our last 7 games at St Mary's, and we've won 5 out of 7 in our last 7 visits to St Mary's. As I said, and Southampton have only won 1 game all season, so Mark Hughes is under series pressure as well. You know, Mourinho will put Jones alongside Smalling. Likely Luke Shaw will be playing as well. Potentially, I think Ashley Young will be playing potentially at right back, in my opinion. In the midfield, I think he'll go with a 3. I'm just doing a prediction. I think he'll put Pogba there, Matic. I know he'll play Matic, and he'll either put Fred or Fellaini alongside Matic as well. Put Mata on the right, or he'll put Lingard on the right. Probably Martial or Rashford on the left, and Lukaku. We've got Arsenal next Wednesday night, which is going to be a very, very tough game. You know, Arsenal have unbeaten in, like, is it 17, 18 games now in all competitions. But yeah, we've had a bit of update of the bit of the team who's going into the game. So yeah, it's confirmed Sanchez is likely to be out. I think Sanchez will leave anywhere. Lindelof's out. It was dramatically this season for Man United, to be quite fair. Doyle's likely to be out. Rojo's injured, as I said. And Damian's unlikely to feature as well. He's only, I think, played twice this season, as I said. But a bit of news is officially updated about David De Gea. Reportedly now, he's wanting Man United to make a key decision before David De Gea makes a decision on signing a new deal. Reportedly, David De Gea wants to know if Jose Mourinho stays at. David De Gea wants to know if Jose Mourinho stays at Manchester United. Basically before he makes the decision of agreeing a new deal, and potentially he wants to know which direction the club is going to take before he, makes his decision of signing a new deal. But reportedly, David De Gea potentially, it confirmed yesterday that Man United activated a clause to extend the current contract till 2020, which reportedly has now been activated. We've activated that 1-year extension on his current contract, but reportedly he said he's happy at Man United. Mourinho's praised him. According to what Jose Mourinho said, David De Gea does potentially want to stay at the club. This is what Jose Mourinho said, and reportedly Mourinho he's convinced and confident that he will sign this new deal now at Manchester United. Where if we are to get him this new deal, it had to be up to £300,000 a week. We would have to offer him in this new deal. But reportedly Mourinho said quite a few weeks ago, he wasn't obviously too convinced. He wasn't too convinced that David De Gea was going to sign this new contract extension as well. But potentially, according to De Gea now, De Gea said he's waiting for the decision, the Man United to make a key decision whether Jose Mourinho stays at Manchester United or not. And then that's when I think when he does know what's going on with the situation at the club and regarding Mourinho, I think then David De Gea will make a decision whether he'll sign a new deal or not. He said he actually was keen on signing a new deal at Manchester United. He said in the press yesterday, David De Gea, he made a world-class save midweek as well. And potentially, we need to win this game tomorrow. It's not, Southampton are in terrible form. They've already lost 7 out of 13 games this season. They've drawn, 5. So potentially Man United should win, but, the way we're performing, the situation with Mourinho, a lot of players are unhappy with Jose Mourinho. I can't guarantee that Manchester United are going to get a win. We beat them 1-0 away last season. I think Lukaku had scored the goal. I think it was 0-0 at Old Trafford. Mourinho's obviously been involved in 10 goals since he's been appointed United manager. Potentially we are winless in our last 2 Premier League games, so it's potentially important that we do we have to get back on winning terms, especially. But David De Gea, we know basically Mourinho's under contract at this club until 2020. We know potentially, he's been under pressure. We know Mourinho's, in his recent interviews, potentially been talking a lot about what he's achieved and the honours he's won in the past, and he's had a lot of criticisms from fans, including me, and potentially he's giving it back to the fans. We know that he's been a good manager. He's got a good pedigree. He's won titles, everywhere he's been, but potentially he's not doing it at Manchester United. He's only won 3 trophies, since he's come to the club. He's won 3 trophies since he's come to the club. He spent just under £400 million on 11 players. He's sanctioned 14 off. He's looking to strengthen up in the January window. I said, regardless of who we're getting, I just don't potentially want Jose Mourinho as Manchester United manager. But potentially, he said he's looking to sanction quite a few players off. We've got a lot of the players coming to end the deals as well. Reportedly, he's going to get tens of millions of pounds to spend in the January transfer window. Mourinho's convinced we can get top 4. Mourinho wants us to get in the top 4 by the end of December, or by January, obviously. But potentially for me, Man United this season, potentially have to get top 4, get Champions League for next season to have any chance of Jose Mourinho continuing his tenure at Manchester United and Old Trafford as well. So potentially everyone, there's potentially pundits being discussing about his team selection, his tactics are currently wrong at the club. We know he's known for he's known for publicly criticising players as well, which he has done, which is currently wrong. You saw it last Friday. He was in an interview. He was criticising Luke Shaw, Martial, Rashford, and Lingard, talking about the lack of maturity, lack of personality, and lack of character. This is what Jose Mourinho was discussing. But potentially, yeah, as I said with David De Gea's situation, it confirmed yesterday that Man United had activated a clause to extend his contract till 2020. He's made over 2 century appearances in the Premier League, since he's come to the club. He has been here now 8-9 years. He's won everything here, apart from the Champions League. But reportedly, we know that potentially, David De Gea has been linked with a move to Paris Saint-Germain, and he's been linked with a move to Juventus as well. Reportedly, it did say George Mendes, currently David De Gea's agent, had been potential discussions with Juventus of him potentially making a move there. Reportedly, it said PSG were willing to offer him around £60 million for next summer, plus a 4-year deal, plus £300,000 a week, which would potentially make him the highest paid goalkeeper as well. And reportedly, PSG, obviously, we know under financial fair play regulations. We know Juventus have showed an interest in David De Gea as well. We know Real Madrid had been a big admirer of the player. They've been heavily linked with him, because obviously David De Gea, he's up the ranks of Atletico Madrid, he's highly experienced in Spain, as we all know. But potentially, if David De Gea, we don't fully know, I think his future's still uncertain at Man United, according to him. He's looking to see what direction the club takes. He's looking to see, whether Jose Mourinho stays or not, potentially. That's what he's waiting to see. And he's waiting for the club and, the board to potentially make a decision. That's when David De Gea, will react, and he will make a decision whether he's going to be signing a new contract, a new deal, which will probably be worth up to £300,000 a week. Or if he doesn't sign a new deal, I think he will head off to PSG or Juventus next summer, because obviously they're the teams that have been linked with him as well. But as I said, yes, so Man United have identified, as I said yesterday on my video, potential replacements for David De Gea if he is to leave and he doesn't sign a new deal. Jordan Pickford's been mentioned, and Jono Blanc's been mentioned in the press as well. Reportedly, Jordan Pickford is under contract with Everton to 2024. He was ex-Sunderland. He was not the ranks with the Sunderland reserves. Everton paid just £30 million for him from Sunderland, as I currently said. But as I said, he's been at Everton since 2017. He's been at a lot of teams on loan before. His forms he's during the World Cup were absolutely fantastic as well. He's potentially under a 6-year contract with Everton. He's Jordan Pickford, as we all currently know. And we know he's under contract to 2024, so potentially Man United have identified him, but Man United may have to pay in the region of £60 million to get him, potentially. if De Gea does leave, and we know reportedly in the press that Jono Blanc has potentially been mentioned in the press as well. Jono Blanc is currently Atletico Madrid goalkeeper. He's currently got an 87 million buyout clause. He's under contract with them till 2021 as well. He's been at Benfica in the past. But he signed for them at the age of 17. As part of the team, won the domestic treble with them, and he's been at a few teams on loan as well. But Atletico Madrid bought him from Benfica for. He was Benfica 4 years, but Atletico Madrid paid. How much did they pay for him? I think it was around £16 million or something. They paid for the goalkeeper as well. So potentially there have been potential Manchester United targets to replace De Gea. If De Gea goes, and potentially, the news about that fell out of the press yesterday about Alexis Sanchez, his relationship, with Jose Mourinho, his relationship now with Jose Mourinho isn't very, very good, as I said. Reportedly, Sanchez did tell friends that he wanted to leave Manchester United yesterday, potentially frustrated that he got dropped from the Young Boys game. He wasn't even in the subs bench. He was basically fully absent from the squad, was Alexis Sanchez. It's currently going to be unlikely that he's going to be featuring in the Man United Southampton game tomorrow. It's going to be unlikely he's going to feature because reportedly he suffered an injury during midweek. Yesterday he suffered an injury, and reportedly Sanchez frustrated. I think he's unhappy. He's not getting along with a lot of teammates. He's struggling to get first team action, and he's unhappy with Jose Mourinho's style of play, and he's unhappy with his managerial style. Is Alexis Sanchez, and we know we've only had him since January. I think he's keen on making the move to Paris Saint-Germain. He's Alexis Sanchez. And potentially, he was good during his Arsenal days with Arsene Wenger for 4 or 5 years, as we all know. He's versatile. He can play numerous positions, and he has proven to be a prolific goal scorer in the past, of Arsenal. Good with Barcelona when he was there. Good with Underneath in his younger days as well. But he just has failed to develop himself well, Manchester United. So we do know the lack of development in the team. I think majority of these players are not playing for Mourinho. They're not getting the best out of Mourinho. Mourinho's not getting the best out of the players. As I said, but Sanchez is on £500,000 a week, as I said, and potentially we could see him leave just within a year, nearly been here a full year at Manchester United, because we've only had him since January as well. But potentially he's mainly number 7, but obviously hasn't proven himself, Alexis Sanchez, as we all currently know. But potentially he could potentially be leaving as well. Potentially. We've been linked to the likes of Ivan Perisic. Reportedly, that's been mentioned in the press. There's been talks about Orphanage. Man United have reported entered the race for Christian Pulisic as well. So we have got a lot of the players on our priority targets. Reportedly, Ivan Perisic did say he dreams of Ivan Perisic. Reportedly, Inter Milan had reduced the £48 million to £31 million. Inter Milan are demanding around now that they want around £31 million for him. Reportedly, we know that Inter Milan are under financial fair play regulations, so basically they have to sanction a player or two off at least, to invest some money, and obviously to avoid financial fair play sanctions. And potentially, we know officially Inter Milan can't buy any players till next summer, as we all know. They can potentially agree of buying players in January, but they can't officially sign players until next summer, because obviously they're under financial fair play regulations, as we all currently know. And potentially what you've been hearing, guys, in the last couple of weeks of what's been updating in the press about potentially, the rumours came out last weekend. I think it was about potentially Paul Pogba reportedly could be involved, could be going to Inter Milan, and reportedly it says Ivan Perisic and Milan Skriniar could potentially be involved in that deal. And it did say last week in the paper, Inter Milan, were willing to pay a staggering £200 million for Paul Pogba, which would potentially make him the highest, which would potentially make him the most expensive player. If this deal was to materialise, as I said, this rumour mill has stemmed basically since Beppe Marotta has become the new Inter Milan CEO, and that obviously he has a good relationship with Pogba, obviously, and he has a good bond with Pogba because obviously it used to be Juventus director did Beppe Marotta for like just under 10 years or something like that. So reportedly it says Inter Milan are willing to offer two of their players and a deal worth up to £200 million as well. If Pogba to go to Inter Milan and Ivan Perisic and Milan Skriniar to come to Old Trafford, and Man United wouldn't want to sanction him off. But obviously this could be swayed Manchester United. This is a tempting offer that Inter Milan have offered, 200 million plus two of their players to get Pogba to Inter Milan. We know he hasn't proven himself in English football as Paul Pogba. He has the odd good game here and there. Potentially had 4 or 5 good years in Turin with Juventus, won honours, made 179 appearances. But potentially we know he's had disputes with Jose Mourinho's Paul Pogba, as we all aware. And potentially Pogba said a week 2 ago that he confirmed he did want to leave Man United. He wanted to leave Old Trafford. He said he would like to potentially make a return back to Turin with Juventus, and he did say, he did basically say that he did want to leave Old Trafford because he told the Juventus players that he wanted to make a move from Old Trafford back to Juventus as well. And reportedly, Riley Ola confirmed that him and Mourinho sort of like fixed their relationship up, because obviously they've had disputes. We paid £89 million for him in 2016, and potentially. We've up Manchester United. Pogba has won the Europa League and the League Cup, as we all know, since he's come. And potentially, Pogba proved himself fantastically well in Italy, as I said, and potentially if we was to go along with this deal, we would make a huge profit on the player, £100 million profit plus 2 players. But potentially, is this true? Because some rumours obviously are not true, and some of them just justify their existence as well. So there has been potential rumours about that as well. And as he updated you the other day about the Christian Pulisic news, guys, as I do keep updating you on, reportedly Chelsea and Liverpool are heavily linked with Christian Pulisic. He is a good young age talent, he's established himself well in Germany with Borussia Dortmund, risen up the ranks fantastically well. He's been in the senior squad with Borussia Dortmund since like 2016, so he has risen up the ranks fantastically well. Reportedly Chelsea have identified him as a suitable replacement for Eden Hazard. Liverpool are reportedly interested in him as well, because obviously Klopp has a good bond with him and has a good relationship with him, because Klopp, used to work at Borussia Dortmund, and obviously Christian Pulisic was there as well, but reportedly he's rated at around £70 million. His current contract comes to an end in 2020 with Borussia Dortmund as the player. Reportedly, Chelsea wanted to get the pursuit with him in January, but reportedly Borussia Dortmund and the director of Borussia Dortmund have confirmed he will be staying at Borussia Dortmund till the end. But they're not willing to do any business in January. Borussia Dortmund have sanctioning Pulisic off. But if Man U, Chelsea, Liverpool are willing to meet what Borussia Dortmund are demanding next summer, then I think Borussia Dortmund are willing to do business and are willing to sanction him off. And it would have to be up to £70 million to lure Christian Pulisic away from Borussia Dortmund. But he's a good attacking midfielder. He can also play on the wing as well. He is only 20 years of age, so he is still in his prime as well. And I think it'd suit the Premier League fantastically well. To be quite honest with you, Dortmund have been talks of securing him a new deal. Talks have not been so they haven't been successful of the talks. So potentially he could leave next summer. But Man United are reportedly in the race as well, because we do potentially need another winger on that left-hand side, because Sanchez is doing it, as I said. Martial and Rashford are still young. And Pulisic is young as well, and Perisic would be ideal at that left wing as well, because Perisic can play as a winger, he can play as a second striker, and he can also play as an attacking midfielder as well, Ivan Perisic. So potentially I think Sanchez will leave. Lukaku's lacking in front of goal as well. Compared to his first season, that everyone talks about him being game bottler. His first touch isn't very very good as well. His first touch isn't very very that good as well, as we all know. And potentially hasn't scored in like 11, 12 games now for Manchester United, so potentially we do need a backup option. We definitely do need another attacker as well. But the Christian Pulisic situation, it's Chelsea that have potentially identified him as a replacement for Eden Hazard, because Eden Hazard came out on Sky Sports and he admitted that he's been at Chelsea like 6-7 years now, so he's proven in the Premier League, one of the best Premier League players, one of the best players in the Premier League without a shadow of a doubt. His ball control is good, he's good in the air, he's good, skillful player, his finishing's absolutely phenomenal. And Chelsea know how much of a key player he is, but he can play as attacking mid, he can also play out on the right as well. His pace is absolutely amazing, but he confirmed he's got 18 months left on his contract as Eden Hazard, and potentially Eden Hazard confirm it leave Chelsea next summer. There's no sign of him signing a new deal, so he said he could leave Chelsea next summer. He says PSG were interested, but reportedly he's ruled himself out of making a move to Paris Saint-Germain as Eden Hazard. And obviously we know Eden Hazard's highly experienced in France, where he played with Lille. He's a Lille like 8 years, including 2 of the years rising up the youth academy, making his professional debut at the age of 16, as we all know, Eden Hazard. So potentially he's won honours, he won the double with Lille, he's won honours with Chelsea as well, he's won awards for himself as well. And potentially in the Premier League, he's made over 2 century appearances, scored about 76 goals for Chelsea, since 2012. So potentially there has been talks about Christian Pulisic. I don't think he's one of Jose Mourinho's main priority target, but it did say Man United entered the race for the player as well. So yeah, what do you think to the situation? As I said about David De Gea, potentially he's waiting to see. He's waiting to see what direction the club takes, and reportedly he wants to know. He hasn't made a decision yet. And potentially he wants to know does David De Gea whether Jose Mourinho stays at Manchester United or not, and then potentially he will potentially make a decision whether he's going to sign a new deal. I hope he does sign this new deal. Breaking news: Sanchez could be out for 6 weeks with a hamstring injury, so that's really really bad. That could potentially be a key of ending his career, his short tenure with Manchester United. Alexis Sanchez, and it's just said he could be out 6 weeks. We currently need to win this tomorrow. We're 7th with 14 points behind Manchester City, with 12 behind Liverpool, with 7 points behind top 4, and potentially if we can get the other matches up, see what's happening this weekend. Well, it's bloody crashing this. If I can't get them up, I'll have a look in a bit, see what the other games are this week. Got a minute. But yeah, as I said, we've got a good record at Southampton. I don't think we've lost at St Mary's since 2003 to Southampton. I thought it was a great player when he played for us years and years ago, Mark Hughes, to be fair. I don't think I can get the matches up, as I said. So I will be updating, see if I can, find the matches. But we need to get back on winning terms. Potentially it did say Potentially was on a good run of form. After Newcastle. Potentially, Mourinho's has not met the expectation levels. Because when we, considering the history of this club, the 3 decades success with Ferguson, the silverware we achieved. And with Mourinho's history, potentially you thought we'd have been in a better position. You thought we'd have been competitive and up there challenging for major honours, and just potentially hasn't worked out. It just has not worked out for some reason. And potentially for me, Mourinho needs to go. He's just arrogant. He's always talking about what he's achieved and what he's won in the past. He's obviously had disputes with players as well since he's come to the club. And, you know, one minute you see Mourinho happy, one minute you see him sad. You saw how frustrated he was on Tuesday till Marion Fellaini's goal went in, you know, in the last minute. You know, he's smashing them rack of water bottles, you know, with relief. Potentially Mourinho's aware of the pressure he's under. Mourinho's had a go back at the fans, you know, bringing his history into the equation as well. And potentially, you know, we're lacking goals. As I said, potentially our best outfield player this season is Anthony Martial, but in the last couple of games he hasn't been his potential self as Anthony Martial, to be quite fair. He hasn't been to his best potential level, and he's coming to an end of his deal. There's no sign of him agreeing a new contract as yet. Obviously, Tottenham were interested in Martial during the course of the summer, as we all know. Potentially, you know, he's been potentially our best outfield player this season without a shadow of a doubt. So I have got to praise Anthony Martial for that as well. But yeah, we have got winnable games up until Christmas, and potentially we have to win them all. We have to win all them games if we have any hopes of getting this, with hopes of getting the top four this season. As I said, but potentially asking me, Jose Mourinho's third season, winning the getting the top four in May. Do you think that's good enough? Potentially, it's not good enough at all, because potentially the money we've spent, you know, potentially we should be up there, you know, at least challenging for the Premier League, and we are quite a few years now off the league, as we all currently know. Potentially, we're there. I'm going to get the other games up. Let's get the other games up. But yeah, we've got a good record against Southampton. We haven't lost to we haven't lost Southampton in our last 5 meetings. We're unbeaten against them in our last 5 games. And yeah, Sanchez, he's got a hamstring injury. It said he could be out for over a month. Premier League. If it comes up. I want to see the bloody fixtures for this weekend. Come on. Matches. See we are. Tomorrow. Let's have a look. If this loads up, I want to see the fixtures tomorrow. I really want. Yeah, where we go. Yeah. So you've got Manchester City, Bournemouth. It's going to be City win all day long. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's going to be City win all day long. So by Manchester, yep. So you've got Palace, Burnley. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games tomorrow. So by the time potentially Manchester United play at 5:30, we could potentially be 17 points from top place, which is likely it's going to happen because City's home record's phenomenal. City are obviously a fantastic team. Scored so many goals this season in the Premier League. I think, you know, they've scored over 40 goals in the Premier League this season of Man City. And let's look at December the 2nd. Look at the games for the December the 2nd as well. Let's have a look. So potentially we could be 14 points behind Manchester City by the time we kick off against Southampton at 5:30. 17 points behind City, not 14. 17 points behind Manchester City. And yeah. If this loads up, we're there. So yeah, tomorrow you've got Chelsea, Fulham, 12 o'clock, Arsenal, Tottenham, North London derby tomorrow. That's going to be an entertaining game. 2 derbies tomorrow. Right, it's gone off. So you've got two derbies tomorrow. You've got Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, Everton. Two good games on Sunday. You've got Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, Everton. Yeah, on Sunday. So they're going to be two interesting games. I think Arsenal are going to beat Tottenham because they're in great form. They haven't lost in like 18, is it, in all competitions or something like that? They're unbeaten. I think they're unbeaten. I think the last time they lost was to Chelsea at the second game of the season. Obviously lost to Man City on the first day of the season as well. Ramirez got it turned around. He's got them playing good football. He's got them getting good results, and he's obviously been Paris Saint-Germain and Seville and Valencia in the past as well, and are still playing very, very well at this moment. We've got them on Wednesday night at Old Trafford. Liverpool, Everton. Essentially, I'd say Liverpool. Liverpool defensively in the league are fantastic. Haven't lost yet. It's only Liverpool and City who haven't lost yet in the league. And Liverpool have got a very, very good squad because Klopp spent just under 400 million, 6 transfer windows. But potentially there was poor against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. They lost 2-1, but in terms of the Premier League, they are playing really, really well. They have lost quite a few games, in all competitions. They've lost. Have they lost two in the Champions League? I can't remember the other team they lost to, but they lost to Paris Saint-Germain midweek. They beat them at Anfield. I think potentially they've got Napoli to still play in the Champions League as well, which potentially I think Liverpool could do, even though Napoli are a decent side. So yeah. So potentially, yeah, that's everything to do today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. And there'll be more live videos coming very soon. So that's your Man United Southampton preview for tomorrow, 5:30. As I said, won't be able to watch it. Don't have BT, and we'll have to glimpse at the highlights and see what happens. So anyway, that's everything to do today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel, and if you do consider subscribing, take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.